Hi, my name is Isabel, and this is my interpersonal relationship analysis. For this presentation, I'll be analyzing the relationship between myself and my best friend Sarai. We've been best friends for around 4 years after we met in a math class her freshman year and my sophomore year of high school. She is now in her senior year of high school while I'm a freshman in college. Currently, we still communicate with each other daily through calling each other, FaceTiming, texting, and we try to see each other almost weekly since we do still live in the same city. The concepts I will be analyzing are social penetration theory, conflict approaches, listening styles, and assertive versus accusatory language. Social penetration theory is the idea that relationships shift through gradual self disclosure. They go from surface level topics to much deeper ones. When Sarai and I first met, we mostly talked about the class that we had together, homework, upcoming tests, random things happening at school. But as the year went on, we started talking about deeper topics, sharing personal stories, and spending more time together. We were telling each other things that we wouldn't just tell an acquaintance and going to each other's houses. Talking about these personal experiences and spending long amounts of time together strengthened our bond greatly. Sarai and I both like to approach conflict in similar ways. We are both emotionally expressive and direct. Being emotionally expressive means valuing intense displays of emotion during disagreements. When something greatly impacts Sarai, she is unable to hide her intense emotions, whether that is crying out of sadness, raising her voice out of anger, or screaming out of excitement or happiness. Being direct in a conflict means valuing the use of precise language and articulating issues carefully. We both feel the need to address issues not just with each other, but with other important people in our lives as well, either in person or over the phone, never just through texting. There's too much that can get lost in translation through texting, and it is not worth it. Whenever we are having a disagreement, we usually call each other or are with each other to say exactly how we feel and avoid miscommunications. Especially since with conflicts with each other are never that serious, so we tend to be sassy with each other on purpose. Addressing them in person avoids that so we know the tone of the conflict with each other. Active listening is the combination of visible positive listening behaviors with positive cognitive listening practices. Active listening is something that Sarai and I both have to actively work on when we're talking to each other, telling each other stories. Habits like not interrupting each other and not replying too quickly before the other person is done talking are things that we do struggle with. But of course, since we do care about each other and what the other person has to say, asking questions and being empathetic and not judging each other are things that we have no trouble with. We sometimes get frustrated with each other due to the lack of active listening and the sometimes constant interruption of each other, but simple communication of the frustration is all that is needed to get each other to actively listen to each other again. Accusatory language uses you statements that place blame on the other person. Assertive language uses I statements that help us communicate ownership of our emotions. In conflicts, Sarai often uses accusatory language when she is disagreeing with each other or feels attacked. I try to use I statements to try and defend myself and reason with her whenever she uses accusatory language towards me. This kind of language can go vice versa depending on who is feeling what in the conflict. In conclusion, self disclosure plays a major role in the formation and strengthening of relationships. Without self disclosure, Sarai and I would never be as good of friends as we are today. Us both dealing with conflict in the same way makes our relationship very simple and drama free. Active listening is important for feeling seen and valued in relationships, and although active listening is something that Sarai and I struggle with, being able to express the need for it still makes us feel valued by each other. I statements are extremely helpful in conflict for defending yourself and expressing your needs when you are feeling accused. Throughout this analysis, I've grown an even greater appreciation for our low stress friendship and have learned that interpersonal relationships rely on communicating with each other effectively and understanding what each other needs.